You guys want to see me make this steak? Let's get started. You want that sizzle, baby. Just, living my life as busy mommy. Humble brag, right? Build my taco. This steak is phenomenal. It's like this party in your mouth. Hola familia, busy mommy here, and today I'm gonna bring you one of my favorite summertime, wintertime, honestly doesn't matter. Super great on the grill outdoors as well. But it's carne asada. Now it's carne asada done a little differently. This is my chili coffee rub. I love this rub. It is so good because it adds like a depth of flavor to the steak. Makes everything a little, it just gives another level of flavor that I personally love, which is why I do this recipe. First and foremost, you're gonna get out your steak. So this is 1.5 pounds of skirt steak. I actually got this at Whole Foods. I'm shocked because I'm very picky when it comes to my skirt steak. Typically I buy it from a Latin grocery store. I live near an area that has a lot of Latin grocery stores, and I actually drive 45 minutes to a different Latin grocery store to get my steak because they do such a great job. And honestly, this steak is super tender, super good, and I found it at Whole Foods. So the skirt steak from Whole Foods is amazing. And what makes it better for the busy mom lifestyle is that I get my groceries delivered by Whole Foods in 2 hours to my house. Not sponsored. They don't sponsor me at all. Good Lord, I wish Whole Foods would want to sponsor me. But this is honestly like the best thing for a busy family. Like, I will order my groceries while I'm on lunch at work, and it'll be delivered right before dinner time, right on my doorstep, and I can just make what I need to make. That is what happened here today. So we have steak, and I'm going to go ahead and make this steak for you. Now, you might ask, what is this bag of coffee doing here? I typically don't put stuff out. I really only put stuff out that I believe in, and you guys have heard me talk about Aspire Coffee Works before. Actually, it was just at a gala that they had. This is honestly one of my favorite companies, not only because my husband designs their logo and does some cool stuff for them, but honestly what they do makes such a huge difference for anyone with developmental disabilities and their families. They actually help people with developmental disabilities find jobs, and they actually work together, people with and people without, to make these coffees. And on the back it tells you like who's actually packed it for you. They do literally what it says here: this incredible coffee does incredible good. All the proceeds to this goes to helping families that need that extra push, whether it's jobs that they help them find or training that they help them find, because just because you have a developmental disability does not mean that you're less than anybody else. And I love that Aspire does this. So it's honestly super good coffee. I'm a huge coffee advocate. I have probably 10 ways to make coffee, from espresso to like the percolator on my stove to Greek coffee. And I can tell you that I'm a coffee snob, and I love this coffee, and their message is just even better. So I'm gonna use this coffee to actually go ahead and make this coffee rub. So you just need a dark espresso bean, and you can grind it yourself or you can get it ground, but Aspire Coffee Works, they are phenomenal. All right, I'm gonna get off my tangent. You guys wanna see me make this steak. Let's start off with the coffee. So I did 3 tablespoons of dark roast coffee. To that, I'm gonna do 3.5 tablespoons chile ancho. So chile ancho, you guys have seen me use before when I make like a red, like my soup or my chili. It's actually poblano peppers that have been dried, and they turn red and short. They're not very spicy at all. They just add a really good smoky flavor. I happen to have chile anchos here, and I ground them up, and that was the powder that I put in here. 1/2 tablespoon of cumin. I don't really like cumin, but my husband likes it, so I just put it in. You're gonna do a little under 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and then I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of paprika. Now this rub is gonna be more than what you need here, but whenever I make rubs, I tend to try to make double or triple, just because you want it to sit and you want to hold it for later, because in reality you're gonna use it again. No need to redo it each time. And then I'm gonna add 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt. So the cayenne pepper, you don't have to add this. I add this because it adds a little bit of heat. I don't want it to be too spicy. This cayenne is really spicy. So you just add a few dashes, whatever you want to do. You can also add crushed red pepper. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up. Now, if you were not doing keto and you wanted to add sugar, you can add brown sugar to this. I would say I would add probably 1 to 3, I would probably add 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, because it'll add like another dimension of like that kind of like chocolatey flavor that you get. Sometimes chocolate and steak is actually really good, and you can add cocoa powder too. But so here is your rub, and it looks and smells, oh, so good. Can't wait to eat it. Now, you can make this rub ahead of time and put it on your steak in the morning, and then leave it in the fridge marinating, and then cook it after you're ready. Now, I like to leave my steak out for about 20-30 minutes before I actually start cooking it, and that's because I like it to come to as much to room temperature as possible, because then it cooks more evenly when you're cooking the steak. And now I'm gonna let this heat up while I start marinating? No, I'm not marinating. While I'm seasoning my steak. So I take the steak that I get and I thin it out. So I take the knife and actually run it through the thick parts like that and just make it a little bit thinner. Now, obviously I already did that, so I don't need to do that for all of them. They look pretty good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and top this. Okay, so I got those going. I'm gonna go ahead, get some olive oil, put it on my pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it, since obviously it's hot. And you want that sizzle, baby. I'm gonna try not to overcrowd the pan. I'm gonna let that cook while I do the rest. Oh, it smells so good. I'm obviously making way more than we're gonna eat for dinner tonight, because it typically stays as one, either leftovers for the week, or I use it in my meal prep for the week, because I like to make everybody jealous at work with the food that I bring in. It's just funny because everybody's always like, so what'd you bring today? What's on the menu? I'm like, oh, nothing, no big deal, just chili coffee rub, steak, tacos, cheese tortillas, no big deal. No, I made the cheese tortillas here at work, whatever. It's just, living my life as busy mommy. Humble brag, right? All right, these are all seasoned well. I am going to grab a spatula, tongs for this. I'm gonna wash my hands, and then we'll flip it. Let's flip, because they've been about 2 minutes on one side. Got a beautiful crust. 2 minutes on the other side. It's gonna have a little bit of a darker crust than you typically will. I'm gonna add a little more oil, because it's like, this table is uneven. If anybody wants to send me a cool table, feel free. I just need to get chosen for one of those shows where they like remake your kitchen or your house. I don't know, what show is it? You guys tell me. What is that show? The Move That Bus. They like redo your house, the Busy Mommy edition. Oh, if I could build my own kitchen. Girl can dream. So the steak typically takes like maybe 5 minutes. For how I like it medium. You can leave it on if you want it like well done. When my sisters come over, they like it super well done, like really crispy. I think they have some sort of fear of like it not being cooked all the way. Shout out, love you sisters. We'll just let this steak sizzle and cook, and then we'll try it. All right, so my steak is done, ready to go. I made some cheese tortillas to go with, which is like my most popular recipe of all, with like 40,000 views. And then I also made some rajas con queso, super good. It's poblano peppers mixed with cheese. If you want to see that video, I'll have it out on my channel as well, since I made that for dinner tonight. But I'm gonna go ahead and build my taco. So typically what I like to do is I like to put these peppers first. The only problem is they're kind of hot, and because it's a tortilla made out of cheese, I like to do the steak first. So let's go ahead, and this is gonna contradict my other video because I added that first, but then I realized that it was like kind of melting the tortilla. So, oh, this steak is so good, guys. It's got that like spice and the coffee. All right, then we're gonna add my delicious rajas con queso. I didn't do a Spanish word of the day for this video. A Spanish word of the day is limón verde. Limón verde. And you do a little splash of limón. And you're gonna add your cilantro and cebolla and a dash of salt. And then we try. Guys, this steak is phenomenal on its own. You don't need a cheese tortilla. You don't need the rajas. But together, it's like this party in your mouth that you can't help but celebrate. So, like I've asked you before, like I ask you every time we do this video, so you should already subscribe, is for you to please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if you tried this chili rub. Do you like it? Did you try it on chicken? I'm wondering if that would be good on that. I look forward to cooking for you guys next week. And as always, peace, love, and keto. And I'll see you next time. Bye.